Hey, how's it going, sexy felines? My name is CJ or M.C.I.K. Welcome back to another Warframe video. Today is going to be kind of a video for you guys. You guys have been requesting me to do a video like this for a while, and I haven't done one of these for a while. So I decided to take tonight's time for recording and do one of these videos just for you guys. So yeah, clearly from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about settings in Warframe, specifically my settings that I use, my graphic settings in Warframe. We're actually going to be going over a couple things. We're going to go over my in-game settings, my graphic settings that I have on, in-game. We're going to go over the launcher settings as well, and we're also going to go over some other stuff in my editing software, because you guys are always asking me, Cole, how do you make your footage look so pretty? And so I kind of want to explain that, because I also get a lot of comments saying, Cole, it's been a while since you made a display settings video, what your graphics are in Warframe, and I did make that video quite a while ago, actually. I think the last time I made one of those videos is when I had my old computer. I actually have a whole new setup now, so I did change my settings a lot. So a lot of you guys are saying, Cole, do an updated video of your graphic settings, so I'm going to be going over that today. So you're welcome. You can stop commenting now. But no, I really do try to make videos that you guys want. So, leave a comment down below if you actually may do something, and there's been something you want to, for me to do. You've been requesting for a while. I just haven't been able to see it. So yeah, today we're gonna go over my in-game settings. So let's get right into it. It's not gonna be a really highly edited video. It's gonna be kind of a short one, but I mean, I've been putting a lot of effort into these videos lately with the BOTW and the top 5 weapons. So I kind of want to take a little break from that, chill out, enjoy this today, and just relax and show you guys my settings. So yeah, anyway, we'll get right into it. So we're gonna start off with the in-game settings, like I said. So we're gonna hop over to, well, we'll start with gameplay. So for gameplay, this is one thing that is optional, and I don't know why. I just have gore disabled. You guys are gonna be like, Cole, what are you doing? Why do you have gore disabled? Gore is so, I know. I've been using gore for the longest time on my, just on my videos, because it looks really cool. Now, the reason I have it disabled is because I think the reason I disabled it is because it looks cleaner. Like, just when you kill an enemy, they drop down dead, or they fly. We will say, in this case, you shoot an enemy in the leg, their leg will go flying, and the body movement is beautiful. I don't know if I'll show an example of that right now. I'll probably do that. But it just looks really cool, rather than them just getting freaking mutilated, turning into guts, and no, there's nothing wrong with that. I love gory stuff. But still, I just personally like that off. And then the legendary color palettes, I have this off. You can change it, turn it on if you want to. It will make your color palettes look different, also making your color schemes look different, so make sure you guys keep that in mind. Now, moving over to the HUD, I have all this stuff. You can pause the video here if you want to. I have the FPS off, because I have a program that already shows me my FPS. And then I have all of these on, and yeah, you can copy that if you really want to. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the display settings, because this is the nitty-gritty stuff right here. This is what you guys wanted to see. So we're gonna go over all of the settings from top to bottom. I'll explain you guys why I have it on or off or whatever I do. Anyway, so we'll start down the list. So full screen, of course, that's pretty much given. I just like to play full screen. Borderless is good for streaming, but that's about it. Video resolutions is 1080p, so I can always go higher, but when you're downscaling for editing, it's pointless, because I upload in 1080p, so I keep it there. 60 hertz, which is a refresh rate, which is pretty damn good. I could go higher, but I think my monitor doesn't go that high, so I can't go any higher than that. The aspect ratio is auto, but for me, I use 16:9, which is the same thing, so I just leave it on auto. Vertical sync is on auto. Now, I could leave it off and get 120 frames, which personally, I like to keep my frame rate stable. If you put it on off, it will get as many frames as it possibly can, which can make gameplay fluster a little bit and fluctuate with frames. So I like to leave it on, and well, sometimes I leave it on like 120. I believe that, yeah, there's actually a no limit option. So if you want to have as many frames as you can do that. But personally, I either leave it on 72 or 60. That will keep me in that nice sweet bit range. So yeah, one of the two. But for the most part, I leave it on auto and just get 60 FPS. Works really well for me. The brightness and contrast will be the neutral, 50 and 50, and the field of view will be at 78, which is the max high as you can go. I just like being able to see the entire battlefield. Nothing really too hard to explain about that. So the graphic quality is going to be on custom, because I do have these changed around quite a bit. So here we go, move on here. So we're gonna have all of these top ones checked on. Basically, all these are gonna be checked on. So NVIDIA Physics Effects is basically gonna add the physics effects on Warframe abilities and whatnot. With everything, really, the physics look amazing with NVIDIA. If you do have the capture card, I recommend you guys put it on there. And then the runtime desolation will add basically more detail. Local reflections is gonna basically add more reflections on floors and walls and make the game look, you know, beautiful. And then blurred reflections, but basically if there's too much detail on it, it'll blur it a little bit to make it look more realistic. So I liked having these all on. They're all beautiful and they make the game look really nice. Volumetric lighting, more fog effects, basically that's what it has. Light rays. So if you don't want all those light rays coming in, like when you go on Earth, basically it's the light rays they added after the War Within. And you can disable those if you want to, but I like to have them on. Dynamic range is, I believe, is just lighting, greater detail, adaptive exposure. Basically, this, you know, adapts to the exposure. If you're looking at something too bright, it'll tone down a little bit. If you're in a dark room, it will kind of brighten up a little bit. And then glare is just, it adds glare around the screen. Ambient inclusion, it adds more lighting effects. So these all are great to have on. I like to have them all on. Down at the quality section. So I have all these on high, just if you're wondering. Shadow quality, particle system quality, geometry detail. These are all on high. And filtering will be on 16, which is the highest you can go, as you can see here. So just more detailing looks nicer on Warframe, in my opinion. If you can run it, then yeah, do it. This filtering, I leave this on. And as for this one, I actually leave this one off. For some reason, I mean, you can always do like one of the, I could run the high ones. Personally though, I like to keep it off simply because it adds more detail to the game. It takes away from all these details. You know, there's no point in keeping this on here if we're just gonna take the detail down. Basically what it does is it kind of blurs out the background a little bit, keeps everything more smooth rather than sharp edges, but I do like the detail, so that's why I keep this disabled. That's just my personal preference. So as for the last bit of settings, these are the ones I have changed mostly. So I have depth of field on, which basically it adds depth of field. It blurs out things that are further away from you, and it focuses on things that are closer to you. Motion blur, it just adds motion blur. Bloom, of course, just adds more colorful effects for explosions and whatnot. And of course you can change the intensity, but I keep that at neutral, 50-50. And as for color correction, I actually have that disabled. I don't know why, but I don't like the way this looks. It doesn't look the greatest, and that's just my opinion. Also, when you're using certain abilities like Loki and Valkyr, when you're using their abilities, sometimes it kind of changes the color of the screen. It looks really wacky. So I like to keep it off, and it kind of keeps the tile sets looking neutral as possible. Because when you go to a corporate style set, if you leave this on, they look all blue and like saturated, and I don't know, it looks bad. But with this off, you can actually make the footage look a lot better in post-production. That's just my opinion. The last two are going to be dynamic lighting, which basically adds better lighting. Things are more illuminated. Great stuff. Character shadows adds shadows to all the characters and warframes and enemies and whatnot. And the last two are useless in my opinion. Weapon elemental physics or effects, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's when you're using corrosive or fire damage. It will show when you're firing with this thing if you leave it on, but I leave it off because, I mean, I don't need to see that. Anyway, last one is weapon elemental or constant weapon trail, which is really, I don't understand the point of it. It just makes a trail like you're channeling, only it stays like that the entire time. So yeah, those are my display settings. All right, heading over to the launcher now. Well, this is the second to the last thing we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about my editing software, how I make the footage look a little bit nicer in the last bit of editing and post-production. So for the launcher settings, we'll go to the settings up here before you launch the game. These are the settings that I have. Of course, full screen is checked on. I like to start the game full screen always. DirectX 10 and DirectX 11. These basically just make your game run faster and run more efficient. So if you want to, I'd recommend you guys keep those on. They work very well. Of course, my computer is a 64-bit computer, so I check that on. But if you have a 32-bit computer, then I recommend you guys do and check this off. That way you will have a 32-bit version when you're running Warframe. Now for these four right here, we have bulk download, aggressive download, multi-threaded rendering. So what bulk download basically does is it lets you download updates and whatnot faster and hotfixes faster. Aggressive download makes it go a lot faster as well, so make sure you guys always leave those on. And for multi-threaded rendering, this makes you render tile sets in faster when you join a session, when you're in a session with 3 other players. And then the launcher GPU acceleration is basically makes the launcher run faster, so make sure you guys do that. And if you haven't done it for a while, I recommend you guys click optimize and also verify. These two help optimize your game a lot better. All right, we're gonna do the last thing. This is basically how I make my footage look a little bit nicer. This is a little bit of a tutorial, I guess. For my editing, this is what I do for editing. If you want a little bit of insight, it's pretty obvious. But if you guys don't know, I do use Premiere Pro, Adobe Prime Pro CC for my editing. I love it a lot. It's really easy to use and has a lot of features. So what I do for the first effect to make this look a little bit better is I add an effect called proc amp, which is right here, and I drag this over to the footage. So basically what this does is it adds saturation. So basically what I like to do with this is just add 130% saturation. So there we go, we'll add that. So you can see the difference right here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm doing on, off, on, off, on, off. Adds a little bit more, you know, can make the colors bounce out a little bit more, make it look more vibrant. And then the other effect I do was, I'll show you guys this. I grab an adjustment layer and I put that over the footage. Whatever I do, my final cut, I put this thing over all of the footage, and then I grab this little filter that I like. It works pretty damn well. It's called Fuji, and I drag it over there, and bingo bongo. Look how beautiful that looks. But sometimes it looks a little bit overpowering, so I like to tone it down just a little bit. So not too much, but just enough. Usually around 70 to 60%. So if you want a little example, here is the example right now. So this is the before footage, and here is the after footage. So as you can see, it looks a lot different, and in my opinion, a lot better and pleasing to the eye. Sorry for the weird video today. I just wanted to kind of explain that. A lot of you guys are always asking me, how does your footage look so nice? And well, now you know. But anyway, tomorrow will be an actual Warframe video or something else. Who knows? Maybe I might play something else. You never know. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, guys. Thanks for requesting this video. A couple of you guys requested this for a while, and you guys kept on requesting. I was like, okay, fine. I'll do the video on it. So there you go. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day. Stay sexy, stay cool, and peace out.